Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Spectrum Dev, where we will discuss the journey and how I started for a career in computer science. Growing up at an early age, I originally wanted to study math and also find myself a career worth in math and teaching. However, as I dig into more research into those jobs, I found that those jobs were not aligned with my current interest that I had back then. From there, I actually had to reconsider what I actually wanted to do in the foreseeable future. During high school, where the high school I currently attended was growing, they offered a computer science course, and then from there, I decided why not try, thus inadvertently starting my computer science journey. But the journey was pretty rough when I started. At first, the course I took, which was an Introduction to Object-Oriented Programming course, I was able to pick up the basic concepts of the course, but when it got to the harder, more complex things, I just struggled trying to understand those things while my peers were able to understand it in a quick manner. The worldwide COVID pandemic continued to add more insult to injury. I still couldn't understand those concepts, and also was having a hard time paying attention to my classes due to the online learning. And of course, as a result, went later on to fail my AP Computer Science exam. This setback gave me second doubts whether computer science was a fit for me and for my future, and I continued to ponder those things in my head for a long time. But during the summer orientation and eventually a virtual tour of the computer science department at the University of Delaware, where I went to later attend college, I decided why not give CS a try to see if I like it or not. Thus, I declared my major to be in computer science. Starting my first year in computer science, where I first took an intro to a computer science course with Python, which I definitely enjoyed despite being online, and I also used Python for my future projects. Continuing to the spring semester of my freshman year, it was a very different scenario. Due to the poor time management with classes, I continued to have a lot of trouble understanding concepts in the object-oriented programming course, and also could not manage my time with all my spring classes as I took too many spring classes, thus led me to fail the object-oriented programming course and ending up retaking again. At the moment I knew I failed, the same question came back to me: is computer science really for me? Despite having the same thoughts again, I continued to stick with it and push myself forward for the future. After retaking the course, gaining help, and finally understanding those concepts, I then decided to adjust my mindset and really improve my time management skills, and also invest into my computer science classes seriously. Specifically during the data structure class, which I took in the fall of my sophomore year, it was a very important class which unlocked a lot of the other higher up computer science courses. So I decided to make that a priority, as I did not want to make the same mistake I made in the past with object-oriented programming. Once I put my effort into those classes, as well as the other classes I took during the fall, I was able to do much better in the fall semester and continue to move on to other challenging coursework which lied ahead. It wasn't until taking a course in software engineering one of my interests sparked in web development. During the software engineering class, I was introduced to HTML, CSS, and JavaScript and TypeScript, which later introduced me to a web framework I grew into a lot: React. My interest of web development continued to grow as I enjoyed the idea of making websites from simple web applications to more complex, secure authentication web applications. And I first made my first website with a team of undergraduate students, which was a 4-year course scheduling for computer science students, which then inspired me to make a personal portfolio website as a proof of concept for the classes I took and other websites that followed throughout my future. I then noticed after the end of my sophomore year, several of my classmates and friends have started gaining experience, whether it's through internships or research. So I decided to get some experience within research first, as I could not able to find an internship during my sophomore year. I then found an opportunity with a professor at my school and thought it could help me grow out of my comfort zone and also learn a lot too, as I took this as a learning experience. Unfortunately, I also had a hard time trying to understand the subject that I researched in with my professor, and also was starting to fall behind some of my tasks, which was very frustrating. But with support from the professor and guidance from friends and family and teammates, I was able to get back on track and continue working and just showing my progress with the team throughout the summer and eventually throughout the winter session. I've learned something really valuable: ask for help when needed and continue to search for help too. During my junior year, there was this one course which I had a lot hard time struggling, just trying to understand the concepts and eventually program them as a proof of concept. It's data mining. And the beginning of the data mining class, I felt really, really bad for myself as I was falling behind. And I decided to seek help from my friends and my family early so that way I didn't have to be forced to retake it in the future. My family, who saw me fail once, encouraged me to prioritize a class and also checked in on me to make sure I actually understood the topics as well as my ability to program them. It wasn't easy at first as I didn't quite get a couple of subjects, but after a bit and eventually prioritizing that class, I was able to understand the current subject and program it, and also was able to finish that class very, very well. And I was able to use what I've for that learning experience to apply to other classes in the future. Many projects, personal, class, and club projects later, as well as many coursework later from my undergraduate studies, I was able to secure my first internship for my own career. Fun fact about the internship: it's located in a place very far away from where I usually live, which gave me the opportunity for me the first time to live on my own, which means I need to manage an actual budget for food, clothes, transportation, rent, and other leisure activities, as well as living with other interns. There were some issues that I had to resolve, such as conflicts with roommates, conflicts with budgets, and also having some conflicts on some projects, but overall the process was smooth and I definitely enjoyed the internship a lot. I definitely got to use what I've learned from my school onto my internship, as well as continue to make connections with the team I work on and also other workers at the company I interned with. As a result, I received an offer for a full-time position in the company, and right now I'm currently working with them part-time, but will later work with them full-time upon graduation. Coming to a conclusion on this episode, I've learned a lot about valuable things around this journey as a software developer and student. I definitely learned to manage time wisely with dealing with a lot of school tasks and definitely seeking resources upon reaching roadblocks and challenges. And also definitely prioritizing self-care, which was not discussed as on some days where I was really, really stuck and I couldn't figure out. I stayed up a lot until like close to midnight or past midnight, even sometimes not reaching a solution, which was very detrimental to my own personal well-being. Definitely take sleep in mind as well. Furthermore, I also learned to find things that I personally enjoy, such as web developments and AI ML projects, as well as enjoying things that are way, way outside of what I study in, such as chess and also making videos. Thank you very much for tuning into this episode, and have a good night.